Hi, Dwight.
How are you today?
So, Dwight, have you ever felt like a Krispy Kreme?
Yes, I have, many times in my life, in fact. My grandfather, we were brought up in Chantilly before Dallas Airport was built, and it was all country. And it was so my grandfather would come out there because there were many fields and countryside to be able to pick blackberries. And he loved that more than anything. And he would always tell me to make sure you wear long pants and long sleeves. It's going to be hot, but we're going to get probably stung and get some cheaters, and a lot of briars are going to cut your wrist and all that. But hey, there's a berry in the bush. So, I think from that young age, I pretty much thought that, in every adversity, there's a seed of greater benefit in there somewhere.
Wow, you learned a life lesson at a very young age that has helped you through adversity. So, Dwight, could you tell us a little bit about your situation and maybe some of the trials that you've been through because of it?
Yes. I was pretty active all my life. And the type of muscular dystrophy that I had will hit you late in life, and it's very slow. And so I wasn't born with it. I know what life could be like without it. Mm-hmm. So it's, to me, it's just a nuisance. And there's so many things that you just have to deal with that's a nuisance. But on the other hand, I've learned throughout my life, I think that, like the Krispy Kreme donut, in order to come out a shining, beautiful donut like that, you've got to go through some things. So in every adversity, I just look into there and think that there's something that's good in there as well, if you just look for it. Mm-hmm. You don't know when it's going to be because it's not in our time, and you don't know exactly what it's going to be. So, but I spent most of my life in all the adversities we've had, which everybody's going to have them, is to try to find the good in it somewhere. So right now, I feel like I'm living the dream, even though this is a nuisance and I can't walk like I used to and jump from rock to rock fishing. I've told Buddy many times I would love to go fishing with him. Do it again sometime, but some things you just can't do. But when I say I'm living the dream, when we moved in here, I thought, well, we're in a gated community with a nice lake. Let's get a nice boat. Well, if I had the boat sitting in the driveway, I'd still be in front of my keyboard playing the music, because that's where my life is. And I definitely have a passion for it. Mm-hmm. And it's something worthwhile getting up in the morning and thinking, wow, can't wait to do something I want to do. Grab the coffee and get to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Something that you love.
Still, there are things, there's things in my life I had to change. In fact, when I was in the rehab center for my broken knee in the last month or so, they've watched me do things with my muscular dystrophy that other people wouldn't do. It's the way I would fix a cup of coffee, or bring myself up to the keyboard, or how I handle my hands, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But what's beautiful about this, and God is so good, and I pray every morning. I get up and ask for things that, like everybody does, and would ask to help me through this, or help me see something in this that's good. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know that my hands and my wrists, out of all the things on my body that are affected, were never affected at all. So I have to give the credit to my mother for, you're going to take lessons on this thing, and God for letting her know that, I needed this in life. How did she know that?
Well, you have a gift, that's for sure. Now, through that process of having to adjust and adapt to changing your life from what it was to the love that you have now, was there ever a time that you were bitter or angry or kind of question God?
Oh my goodness.
A lot of times.
Oh,
How did you come through
yes.
that?
And in the beginning, it was of all the things in the world. How in the world? I was diagnosed with this, and they did a biopsy and found out that I have this muscular dystrophy thing. How am I going to deal with that? And they said that. And at the time, all I noticed was one leg getting a little thinner than the other. I didn't really realize any physical atrophy, and feel it. But as time goes on, this affects you late in life, and it's very slow. I felt it coming on. And I kept thinking, well, why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And that question of why comes up so many times in people's lives. I think that, you just have to maybe not ask why, but just ask God to help you through it.
Wow. Well, Dwight, the Bible says in James 1:2-4 that we're to consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. And you know what, Dwight? That's what I see in you. I see a maturity, and I see a perseverance that has allowed you to be where you are today, because you inspire me. You really inspire me. I've heard you say several ways that you've learned to persevere, not only your grandfather giving you life lessons at a young age, but you getting up in the morning and praying, but also finding a new passion. So tell us more about the joy that you found.
Well, I'd like to think that I'm fortunate in that respect, that how in the world was I put in a situation where I can't really hardly do anything except sit either in front of the computer or my keyboard. And I love music more than anything else in the world.
Yeah.
Music gives you so much. But Nancy and I learned years ago from a very successful individual that really the best way to be happy, which is a choice, is to be in constant pursuit of some kind of worthwhile dream or goal. And, when you really put that in front of you and think to yourself, what am I actually really passionate about? And does everybody have it? I don't know. I'm fortunate that I found mine. But you're right. I'm going to look for the good in everything. In fact, my family, when I talk to them, they'll go, how you doing? I'll go, I'm great. And they go, oh, you say that regardless of what happened to you or what your situation is. I go, you're right, I would. Truly, I feel like now that I understand and I have matured throughout the years and I've gotten closer to God, thanks to Gay and Buddy, I might add, because they're on a mission and they're doing wonders with people. And I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
But I just feel like that I'm one of the few that's found the good in what we're supposed to find in happiness. Well,
you have persevered, you've matured, you've developed your relationship. Thank you for your kind words. And I know that your music has helped you. So could we hear you play a little bit of your music?
Wow. You really want to? I'm so honored that you wanted me to do this.
We would love it.
It's nice to be able to roll up to my piano. Most people have to pull their coat out and sit down in a chair and use all those muscles to get up. And I don't have to do that. Anyway, I went from the piano to the organ in my younger days, and of course you play the organ with two keyboards on your feet. Well, I had to find something that would supplement my left hand a little bit with my feet rhythm. So I found this, and since they say you're only as good as your tools, well, after all these years, found something that would suffice and maybe allow me to play everything.
Well, Dwight, thanks so much. This was wonderful. You are an inspiration to me. And do you have any final words for us?
Yeah, I would say that just go ahead and accept the pressure that you're going to have in life, because if you just keep finding the good in it, one day you're going to come out looking like a real pretty little Krispy Kreme donut.